our break, we have a rising, perhaps they're on the top star, design star in Canada, who is also going to be with us at the party at Moses' little house on Saturday, Joeffer Caoc. Now, did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You did. Okay. So
I'm going to model now.
I kept looking at the sheet and wondering, am I in the right spot? Because the world is falling apart. We have to save wildlife. And I'm coming here to talk to you about what my world is about, and that's hemlines and high heels. I'm a fashion designer. And I'm like thinking, okay, what can I possibly tell all of you people? And what I think I'm going to talk to you about is, I know you all know what a fashion show is, and all the glitz and the glamour and all the beautiful clothes and all the beautiful models and Jeannie Becker and all of that. But what I want to share with you is sort of twice a year, every 6 months, we put on this fashion show where my collection of clothes are due. It's and that's like death right there, artist deadline. And in the fall and in the spring, and I go through this neurotic, insecure digression of character. That's the story that I'm going to tell you about today. So the first phase is it's the best, really, because it's when I come up with what I want to do, and nobody in the world knows about it. It's all in my head, and I'm like, I'm going out at this point like a lot. I'm not really a big social person, but later on when I'm sort of entrenched in all the work, like there could be a fucking war, and you know what, I just want to know if that 16-inch skirt goes good with the high heels or the 27-inch skirt goes good with the high heels. So this whole inspiration thing, and I'm watching movies, I'm watching Madonna and Britney and all of these TV personalities, and I'm going to museums, and I'm reading books, and I'm in LA, and I'm at Barney's, and there's this lady, and she's coming down the stairs, and she's wearing this immaculately tailored suit. It's camel, it's beautiful, it fits her perfect, she's got perfect hair, she's got, she probably had about 10 things done to her face, but that's okay because she looks fabulous. And she's got these matching high heels to this matching purse, and she's got 4 Dolce & Gabbana bags on one hand and 5 Chanel bags on the other. And I'm like, holy shit, this is the lady that I want to dress. You know what, this is what it should be about again. This is what fashion should be about. It's about dressing up. It's about, and in my head, I'm playing out this sort of like, what she really is all about. She's probably this washed up superstar that has about 10 boyfriends. She's got shitloads of money, and all she likes to do is have fun, and she would probably go to the corner store looking like that. And I'm thinking, you know what? My inspiration for this season, it's going to be about this 1940s starlet, and I'm going to dress her in the auditions, and she's going to make a comeback in this film. And at the same time, I'm at the AGO, and I'm looking at all these Cindy Sherman film stills, like these untitled film noir stills, and I'm like, film noir? This is cool. What is all this film noir business? And I'm looking at her pictures. She's made them up, and she's got these femme fatales and these gangster girlfriends and these 1940s starlets in the pictures. And at this time, this whole Twilight Zone thing sort of takes over me, and it's like, this is the theme. This is what you're going to do. And I'm like so excited, and I'm high on this whole thing, and I'm going back to the studio. I'm telling all my design assistants and my staff, and this is where it's going, and it's all about Lauren Bacall and Lana Turner and all these 40s starlets that we're gonna, and she's making a comeback in this film noir movie, and I know exactly how the fashion show is gonna be in my head, and it's all playing out in my head, and I know it's gonna be good, and I know this is gonna be better than last season and better than the last collection, and I'm a really good designer, and da-da-da-da-da. And then I make this outfit, and it's like, it's inspired by this film noir movie. Lana Turner is wearing a scarf, and I'm going to turn it into a sexy halter top because that's what's going to make it modern, right? And I'm going to put this sexy little skirt on her, and then, we're going to do this suit that's kind of beaded. And I'm looking at this outfit, and it's like, you know what, holy shit, this is what that lady would wear at Barney's like a couple of months ago or whatever. It takes me a long time to make this outfit. It takes me about 6 weeks, because once I do this, I have to commit to this idea. And it's still good, and the original thought is still good, and we shoot the ad campaign, and we do this very early, and I tell the art director and the photographer, you know what, let's do this model. We're going to shoot slides behind her, and she's going to wear a wig, because this is the theme. It's about dressing up. It's about her sort of starring in any movie that she wants to be. It's this whole fantasy thing. And it looks great. I'm at the photo shoot, and the model's got the wig on and this suit on, and there's like this weird sort of film noir scenery behind her, and she looks fantastic. So the shoot's done. A couple days later goes by. Did you guys ever watch Brady Bunch? You know Jan Brady has that evil twin, and it comes out and it makes her hate Marcia? Because Marcia has better hair, better teeth, better nose, and all of that. I have one of those. I get this evil twin that comes out and says, Joe, what the fuck were you thinking? That is not a theme. That is not 1940s glamour. That's 1980s drag queens. And I'm like, shit. What am I going to do? How can I go back to work and tell everybody, no, it's all wrong. This isn't what I wanted to do. And I get all insecure about this thought, and it's like, and I'm stuck. Just like that. That's my assistant. We're like, shit, what are we going to do? And my assistant's like, okay, he's fucking crazy. What are we going to do? I've employed all these people to finish all these clothes, and I don't want to go on. And then there's like a thing here. But there's like the book gets produced, the promo, the advertising campaign, like a couple of weeks later, and I'm looking at it, and it's like, wow, this is like the original thought. It looks exactly the way I thought. And I'm high again, and that whole Jan Brady thing, it's gone. And I'm a great designer. Like, this is going to be the best collection. And a lot of work gets done here. Like, a lot of stuff pumps out. I'm pumping things out of the air or whatever, clothes and designs, and everything's fabulous, and everything's good, and everyone's on a rush. And then all of a sudden, the rack's filling up with clothes. Sales and the reality of the business side kind of hits me. And sales and marketing, they're like, Joe, hurry up, finish this collection. We got to sell it. You got to show in like a month. And I'm like, that Jan Brady thing comes back. And it's like, oh, is it really good? Is this really good? And then everyone starts to throw me their opinion. And all of a sudden, everybody's the fucking designer. It's like, that's not saleable. Why did you do that color? Da-da-da. And it's like, just shut up. I'm not finished. And it's like, when I start to get really insecure, the whole world starts to crumble around me. It's like they purposely want to dig me into the dirt. And it's all like self-pity and despair and all that, but the creative people in this audience will understand what I'm talking about. And so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so there's too much fabric, too many clothes, too many opinions, and it's like original thought. What was original thought? 1940s, femme fatales, gangsters' wives, gangsters' girlfriends, Lauren Bacall, da-da-da. Then all of a sudden I'll make something like this cucaracha Copacabana Filipino skirt. Like, where did this come from? This does not look like this. But it's okay, it gets put into the collection because they're all telling me it's beautiful. Just shut them up, tell them everything's beautiful because we got to get this show on the road. And then they're all like, Joe, where are we going to have this fashion show? What kind of models are we going to book? Da-da-da, and all this stuff. And I'm like, all I want to do is make clothes, and why is everyone asking me all these questions? Oh, yeah, I forgot I hired them to ask me all these questions. And it's like, okay, we're going to have the show at Ontario Place because there's this sort of cavernous room, and it's dark, and it looks like the film noir movies. We're going to sort of book older models, and they're going to camp it up on the runway. We do fittings. Everything's fabulous. By the way, the reason why we have these slides, it wasn't so vain that I had somebody following me around to photograph me for TED City, but one of the magazines asked if they can do a photo diary. It's coming out next month, of a designer before the days. So amidst all this craziness, the editor's like, Joe, is it okay if we hire a photographer to follow you around a week before your show? And I'm like, sure. Not only do I have to worry about finishing this collection, but every morning I had to make sure I was wearing good clothes and my hair was cut and I shaved and da-da-da and all this stuff and nice shoes, right? So the show's going on, and finally, and I'm in this just insecure mess, this whole Jan Brady thing just won't go away. And I make finally decisions, and I'm like, okay, original thought was this. We're going to have it at Ontario Place. We're going to book models, and then we plan out the whole show on this sheet, like this, that one in the background. All 25 girls are there. Every single outfit is underneath them. They're cued to when they come out, exactly what they're wearing, what jewelry they have on, what shoes, and everything's going really great, right? Like, we found a wig sponsor, and we're going to have all the girls in these sort of wigs so they play out different characters, and the jewelry's getting all designed, and we found the shoes, and all the clothes are getting made, and everything's fantastic. We've pretty much planned out weeks and hours on that board what the show is going to be about, and I've picked all the music and da-da-da-da-da. a week before the show, that Jan Brady thing comes back. And I'm just like, Joe, you know what? That show thing that you've planned out, it's not that good. So I go in at like 2 o'clock in the morning after everyone's gone, right? And I'm looking at it, and within 5 minutes, I've completely destroyed that whole sheet. I'm like, okay, Jan Brady's going, Joe, change the ending because it's not that good, and change the beginning while you're at it because it's not that strong, and why are you making those ugly dresses? Okay, so I'm gonna change all that stuff, and then the next morning I come in, and I'm like, Kelly, that's my design assistant, I think we're gonna end the whole show with 15 leather ball gowns. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? There are 7 days, how are we gonna make 15 leather ball gowns? And I'm like, don't worry, we'll make it, just make it, it'll look fantastic. All these girls are gonna come out in these leather ball gowns at the end, all fitted and sexy, and it's just so, that's the modern interpretation of the 1940s retro theme, right? He's like, all right, we'll do it, you know, and we're with you, we're with your vision, you know, we'll follow you, we'll listen, and my stylist and the show producer, you know what, Joe, everything's gonna be fantastic, everything's great, just go with it, just finish the collection, there's a week left, and, you know, and everyone's telling me that, you know, it's great, it's fantastic, and I get in this Ally McBeal mode, and I'm like, you're all fucking liars. What do you mean it's good? No, it's not, and you know, and I start to get all insecure and paranoid, and it's like, shit, no, we gotta change it, maybe my original thought was better, and da-da-da-da-da, and, you know, and they're damned, too, if they tell me it's not good, right? Because my head will do a full 360, I'll spit out green goop and like fire them on the spot, right? If they're not telling me it's good, because I'm paying them to tell me it's good. So, and then before you know it, back and forth, it's the day of the show. And this is when sort of like, I can't change anything at this point, and I wake up and I said, you know what? I refuse to be neurotic and insecure, and I refuse for Jan Brady to take over my body. I am gonna go into work, we're just gonna finish that collection, it's gonna be fantastic, everything's gonna be great. I look at that outfit again, I look at the promo piece, and it's good, it's all good. The whole thing starts to fall apart. Throughout the day, everything just starts to fall apart. Joe, we ran out of leather. We can't finish the gowns. We can't find a purple zipper. We can't do this. My mother calls, Joe, what am I wearing tonight? And I'm like, oh, Mom, I gotta go. My life's falling apart right now. And she's like, you know what? We have an issue. You don't spend enough time with us. I'm like, what? Mom, not right now. Rosa's got a fucking issue, and my whole show's falling apart. And it's like, okay, I'll come home this weekend. I promise. So, you know, the show's going on, and then I'm leaving the studio. The staff pretty much carries on. They finish sewing all the clothes. I go to the space, and there are more disasters. The stylist, Lee's, like in the backstage, and he's like, Joe, you know those wigs? We only have 24. And I'm like, what do you mean we only have 24? One model's not gonna come out wearing a wig? That'll look stupid. Everyone will think we couldn't afford one more wig. And then he's like, well, there's a big chunk missing out of it. And I'm like, well, where'd the chunk go? And he's like, well, I don't know. What do you want us to do about it? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not the hairstylist. What do you want me to do about it? Go find some chunk from some other girl's wig. And you know, just stick it in there and stuff. And I'm like, what did you guys do to the last 10 girls? And why isn't so-and-so not here? Oh, she's late. And I'm like, late? Shit. Oh, and by the way, the choreographer who's gonna cue all the girls, because I'm backstage, right? He's passing a fucking kidney stone. He's in the hospital. But don't worry, he passed it. He'll be here in 2 hours. And I'm like, okay, it's okay. I'm the little engine that could. And you know, and it's like, okay, we'll redo those last 10 girls because they do look like drag queens. They're supposed to look like 1940s starlets. And the show goes on. And it goes on, and Jeannie Becker's there, and she's like, come on, let's do an interview. Talk to me about this collection. I'm like, no, Jeannie, I can't. I hate this collection. I don't know what I'm doing here. I just want to sort of like turn around and fire everybody in this room and go out on stage and tell everyone to go home because the show's not going to be that good. And then for final torture, I got to watch each and every single girl go out. Like, I got to prove them. Like, I don't know why I do this. I should just watch the show because at this point, I really don't care anymore. Now, there's nothing I can do. It's like, okay, you girl with the chunk missing out of your wig, just go. Nobody's going to notice. That skirt's on backwards, but nobody's going to notice. I hate that thing on you, that brooch, but just go. 20 minutes later, all of that heartache in 6 months, it's over. And I'm coming down the runway, and I'm like, I'm so tired, I just want to go home, And as I get to the end, I'm thinking only two things. I'm like, shit, how am I going to make this better the next season because it wasn't that good? It's got to get better. And the second thought is, what excuse can I have? Because you know that post-show party after to celebrate all of this? I don't want to go to it. I just want to go home and I want to sleep. And after a couple of days of sleep, and I'm watching the video, and then there's girls that look like this, and I'm like, oh my God, where did all these clothes come from? She looks fantastic. She looks exactly like the original thought. And I'm like thinking, you know what? I'm really lucky because they got a great job. 6 months ago, I dreamed of this, and 6 months later, it turned into a reality. And that's the end of my story. Thanks. Thanks.